My name is MJ. I am a second generation Filipino American. I'm actually half Italian. Lived in Jersey City, born and raised. I've worked here for several years, and I do a lot of my community work here as well. I am a singer, songwriter, a mother of two, a wife. I am deeply connected to community-related projects. I believe community and healing in community is important for us to progress as community, as people. And I believe in the inner work, and that also relates to relationships that you create, right, throughout your life. My background is in entrepreneurship. I worked for a nonprofit for over 10 and a half years, working with Jersey City residents, folks in Essex County as well and beyond New Jersey, helping them get their businesses off the ground. I was the program manager and director of a 12-week business training course. And through that, I served community and helped folks, realize their dreams. So that's been my background. Going into community development and nonprofit work was deeply influenced by being an Asian American, having a mother who was an immigrant. She had been in the U.S. in Jersey City since the, mid 70s, late 70s. However, there's a transitional point where you're trying to figure out who's in your community. How do you get access to resources? There's also the aspect of her having a mental illness that really pushed me and just made me realize I need to do the work with people. I need to support folks who don't feel that they have access to opportunities. So I am the product of a serial entrepreneur. My mom has done everything, you name it, Mary Kay, aloe vera, Symmetry, Japan Life. I can go on, noni juice, everything. And at 9 years old, I was literally doing her presentations for her. I was learning marketing right before my eyes, going from place to place. And so that was her way of making a living. She was actually working at the United Nations for 15 years, had to leave her job to really take care of me and really focus on me. However, that, started to get into, well, how do I live, comfortably? And so she got into a lot of these companies that she didn't have a great experience with. And so I got to experience her struggle firsthand. And her being an immigrant to this country, you're still learning so much about what it's like to live in America. You're still navigating your way through all of this. And her decisions directly impacted my desire to want to do community work, to do nonprofit work. I started really singing comfortably at Filipino senior citizen parties. That was my first main stage. They would throw money at me. So we quickly realized that this is something we needed to nurture and really hone in on my craft. I would say my music throughout my time being an artist has really been a lot about struggle, talking about the struggle, what it's like to experience poverty, what it's like to live in a single mother household. I grew up without my father. And so I grew up in a Filipino immersed, life, culture, everything. And also I had the experience of not always feeling accepted because I didn't exactly always look Filipino. And so growing up in high school, my friends would be like, you know what, MJ, you look Puerto Rican today, or actually you look Filipino today, right? And so I didn't always feel that I belonged. And I think a lot of that as well came into the music, and music became my therapy. So, my mom struggling financially, struggling to just navigate what's this life like, and how do you reach a point of success, and what is success in America as an Asian immigrant? That really influenced what I wrote about how deeply I felt. And so I call myself Soulfully Josephine, because it's not just the soul, but it's, what feels deep and impacts your soul and touches your soul. And that's everything that I've, sort of brought along the way into who I am as an adult. It's been very devastating. It makes me feel very connected to this, because I look at these faces and they are literally my potential aunts, right? In the Philippines, we have a word called tita. And it's kind of like in the Spanish culture, you say tia, right? Or however other cultures say it. But your tita is not just someone you're related to. Your tita is someone in your community, right? So someone that you feel very connected to, you go to their house, you eat at their house. It's really just devastating to know that anything like this could happen to anyone, but feeling very close to it really hurts, because I see my aunt's face. I see, folks that I'm related to, right? And just like within the Black Lives Matter, and the Black issues, period, and within the Black community, I have a Black husband, that connects me and impacts me in that way. So yeah, it's been devastating and very unfortunate. I learned that growing up Filipino, you give so much of yourself to each other. I learned that being a Filipino just means it's sort of like, I don't know I think you said that you had Filipino friends, and something that I've felt very deeply as a value is kindness. And, just hospitality, and extending yourself and being empathizing, right? And then you got those titas that know how to have fun. And sometimes they're like, we can get down when it comes to those line dancing. Filipinos love line dancing. It's something that I've been immersed in since I was young, from Filipino senior citizen parties to the debuts, which is your, cotillion, your 18th birthday type of parties. But just being rich in the culture, being Filipino, growing up being Filipino was about community. So there is this annual festival called the Santa Cruzan, and you're honoring, again, it's within the Catholic religion, but you're honoring Mother Mary. We do a parade. The younger children are dressed in, an angel-like type of clothing. I remember one time we didn't really have a lot of money. My mom turned a white towel into an angel outfit. And growing up, that was a little embarrassing and traumatizing. I'm not going to lie, but just the thought and creativity she put into it made me feel like, all right, I got to look back at that and smile and say that's something that I will never forget. But, we went around the blocks within Jersey City, and then afterwards there's a big celebration. You get to eat street vendor food. All types of food and cuisine. Filipino food is one of my favorites. It just really gives you that like home feeling, right? You are home. It's almost like good for the soul, if I could just, describe it. So we got to, I got to experience being an angel in the Santa Cruzan, and, being amongst, my Filipino brothers and sisters and community members, getting to know them. And it's like, oh, you actually almost know everybody, or you know them through someone. Like, oh, this person and such. That's how connected we are. And I've always loved that growing up. If I can also say, like, my favorite dessert from the Philippines is halo-halo, hands down, halo-halo. A lot of people can't really mess with it because it's a mixture of all kinds of sweets, which I can understand, but it has, lychee, it has coconut sheddings in it, it has almost like the tapioca gel. It has the ubi ice cream. It has ice shavings. It's so good. Jackfruit. But yeah, just being immersed in like the culture. I definitely love the food. and just the experience of being within community. And that also dictated what I chose to do in life, right? So all of that experience, it really just, I think, put me on a mission to uplift people, empower people, make them feel welcome, make them feel like, they've arrived home in some way, shape, or form. As the founder of Inspired Artist Movements, as well as Goddess Network, my work is empowering Black, Indigenous people of color who are creatives, as well as women, whether it's through the arts or healing from your trauma. And so you can find me at Soulfully Josephine on Instagram. I'm also a graphic designer and art director. I work, with other folks who are doing their thing, who are working on their creative passions. And so I'm open to conversation. I'm open to working with you, to being a thoughtful, creative partner. And if that's something anyone would like to do, they can reach out to me via Instagram or inspiredartistmovement@gmail.com.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and share. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content.